Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd, and today is Thursday, May 19th. I'm totally lost. 2023. Imagine that. Yeah, that's how busy I am. Forgot what day it was. So, anyway, welcome to the show. I'm going to talk about de-dollarization because it's a new phrase that's being bandied about that many of you may not quite comprehend what it means. So I'm going to give you a little tutorial of what it is and how it's come about and how we got from A to B to C to D to Z. So, and as you see up here behind me, my backdrop, we've changed the format for our classes. We no longer do live classes. Everything is recorded, uploaded to these private Telegram groups. And there's a private Telegram group for Trust 101, VCR class, for all of them. 201, 301, 401, and coming up 501. I've already spoken to Ann about that, so we will be working on that shortly. As you can see, there are price decreases, and you have all access 24/7, 365 to all the class videos, all the materials, all the former students, mentors, administrators in those private Telegram groups. You can open up a chat anytime you want and ask questions. Ann and I do jump in there and answer your questions as well. So, you don't have those costly private consultation fees to set up your trust. These trusts have been set up in this one right here after they take the 2-day class. That's doing the live thing. We've had students complete this whole process, get their trust, get their EIN, set up their non-interest bearing bank account in 1 week. Absolute 1 week, 1 week. So do you think it's worth your time, effort, and energy to make this little donation right here to get access to that so you can watch these videos at your leisure, build your trust at your leisure, have consultations at your leisure? There you go. That's what this is all about. Now, it's the same thing with the VCR class, whole 9 yards. This show is sponsored by MortgageAuditsOnline.com. Sean Adley. Send him an email at mortgageauditsonline.com. Go to their website. What Sean does is audits mortgages, car loans, credit card loans, personal loans, any type of financial transaction where you may or may not have knowingly or unknowingly signed a contract. He's going to go find that fraud. He has a 95% success rate. And when he finds that fraud, he's going to present you with all the evidence. Then it's up to you to take that evidence and do whatever you need to do with it, whether or not that is go to arbitration or go the legal route and go through the court judicial system. So I want to thank Sean for being my sponsor. Put code Fearless in there when you send him your email, when you go through their website portal, and he's going to send you a free $295 info kit. It's full of information that's very, very valuable. I'm going to tell you guys, if you're just like, you're thinking about getting any type of loan, go to Sean's website, mortgageauditsonline.com. And just read his website. It gives you some very valuable information, what to look for, how to recognize fraud before you even sign the contract. Just reading the contract, perusing it, you can spot it already. So very good website, very informative. Thank you, Sean, for being my sponsor. Now, if you'd like to get a package deal and get 24/7 all access to every class that we've done, that's the VCR class, the 101, 201, 301, and 401. $5.99. Just scan this with your phone. Boom, it's going to pop up PayPal. If you don't want to do PayPal, go to my website, FearlessFloydShow.com. There's all kind of portals there in the classroom tab that you can donate for these classes and have access. So 101 class is obviously the Revocable Living Trust. VCR class is on the voucher coupon remittance. 201 is all about deeds of warranty, deeds of transfer, et cetera, et cetera. 3 is how to spot fraud in your mortgage and foreclosures. and how to remedy it yourself. That way you don't have to hire Sean. Or we have 401 class, which is all about irrevocable trusts. That class is a wealth of information. So if you have a lot of time that you want to study irrevocable trust, there's enough material in there to keep you busy for quite a while. And then 501 will be on private banking. So I look forward to getting that class off the ground, hopefully soon. So we're going to get into the tonight's topic, de-dollarization. So let me get over there, and I'm just using Wikipedia just for simplicity's sake. So it's something that everybody can go to and read for themselves. They don't have to take my word for it. So that's why I just, choose the free encyclopedia. That way everybody has access to it. So what we have here, de-dollarization refers to countries reducing reliance on the US dollar as a reserve currency, medium of exchange, or as a unit of account. The US dollar began to displace the pound sterling as international reserve currency from the 1920s, since it emerged from the First World War relatively unscathed, and since the United States was a significant recipient of wartime gold inflows. After the US emerged as an even stronger superpower during the Second World War, the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944 established the post-war international monetary system, with the US dollar ascending to become the world's primary reserve currency for international trade and the only post-war currency linked to gold at $35 per troy ounce. After the establishment of the Bretton Woods system, the US dollar is used as a medium for international trade. The United States Department of the Treasury exercises considerable oversight over the SWIFT financial transfers network, and consequently has a huge sway on the global financial transaction system, with the ability to impose sanctions on foreign entities and individuals. And that last sentence is going to come into play as I explain all these different steps that we connect these dots, A, B, C, D. So the sanctions, okay, when they impose these sanctions, this is where we got the backlash, the creation of the BRICS consortium of countries, which has led to the de-dollarization of the dollar. So we'll carry on. Under the Bretton Woods system established after World War II, the value of gold was fixed to $35 per ounce, and the value of the US dollar was thus anchored to the value of gold. Rising government spending in the 60s, however, led to doubts about the ability of the United States to maintain this convertibility. Gold stocks dwindled as banks and international investors began to convert dollars to gold, and as a result, the value of the dollar began to decline. Facing an emerging currency crisis and the imminent danger that the United States would no longer be able to redeem dollars for gold, gold convertibility was finally terminated in 1971 by President Nixon, resulting in the Nixon shock. The value of the US dollar was therefore no longer anchored to gold, and it fell upon the Federal Reserve to maintain the value of the US currency. The Federal Reserve, however, continued to increase the money supply, resulting in stagflation and a rapidly declining value of the US dollar in the 1970s. This was largely due to the prevailing economic view at the time that inflation and real economic growth were linked, so inflation was regarded as relatively benign. Between 1965 and 1981, the US dollar lost 2/3 of its value. Central bank reserves. According to the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, currency composition of official foreign exchange reserves, or COFR, survey, the share of reserves held in US dollars by central banks fell from 71% in 1999 to 59% in 2021. So basically what that means is these other countries, 208 of them plus, have been holding US dollars in their central bank, and that decreased by 12%, which is not much, but that's going to continue to decline, especially over these past 2 years. Trading oil and other commodities. And this breaks down what's been happening in recent years as far as trade, international trade with oil and US dollars and foreign currencies. So you see China and Europe, and with this war in Ukraine, it's put quite a strain on everybody and everything. Just to give you an example, here is what you call a de-dollarization. In August 2018, Venezuela declared that it would price its oil in euros, yuan, and rubles and other currencies and not in US dollars. Okay, and that's what you see these countries that are peeling off. And Venezuela has more proven oil reserves in the ground than every other Middle Eastern country combined. Give you an example. All right, so that's a big deal when they pull off the US dollar and start using other foreign currencies, because this will build their central bank reserves in these currencies and not US dollars, which will decrease the percentage as you see up here. Same thing with China. And as we know, China, Russia, Brazil, and Saudi Arabia, India, Vietnam, Iraq, Iran, Egypt, they're all joining in with the BRICS. And I'll get to that to show you guys what BRICS is about. Here's your foreign exchange reserves, your foreign currency. That looks like, and it just goes on and on and on. Dollar dominated assets. Zimbabwe, which we've been talking about, which is clearly going gold backed. Here's talking about, they put out this coin, they just put out some more coins. So let me stop share. So where did the dominance of the dollar come from? That came from the Bretton Woods Agreement. The Bretton Woods system of monetary management established the rules for commercial and financial relations among the United States, Canada, Western European countries, Australia, and Japan after the 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement. The Bretton Woods system was the first example of a fully negotiated monetary order intended to govern monetary relations among independent states. The Bretton Woods system required countries to guarantee convertibility of their currencies into US dollars to within 1% of fixed parity rates, with the dollar convertible to gold bullion for foreign governments and the central banks at $35 US per troy ounce of fine gold, or 0.88867 gram fine gold per dollar. It also envisioned greater cooperation among countries in order to prevent future competitive devaluations, and thus established the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to monitor exchange rates and lend reserve currencies to nations with balance of payments deficits. Preparing to rebuild the international economic system while World War II was still being fought, 730 delegates from all 44 Allied nations gathered at the Mount Washington Hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, United States, for the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference, also known as the Bretton Woods Conference. The delegates deliberated from 1 to 22 July 1994 and signed the Bretton Woods Agreement on its final day, setting up a system of rules, institutions, and procedures to regulate the international monetary system. These accords established the IMF and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the IBRD, which today is part of the World Bank Group. The United States, which controlled 2/3 of the world's gold, insisted that the Bretton Woods system rest on both gold and the US dollar. Soviet representatives attended the conference, but later declined to ratify the final agreements, charging that the institutions they had created were branches of Wall Street. These organizations became operational in 1945 after a sufficient number of countries had ratified the agreement. According to Barry Eichengreen, the Bretton Woods system operated successfully due to three factors: low international capital mobility, tight financial regulation, and the dominant economic and financial position of the United States and the dollar. On August 15th, 1971, the United States terminated convertibility of the US dollar to gold, effectively bringing the Bretton Woods system to an end and rendering the dollar a fiat currency. Fiat currency means it's not backed by anything. It's just a promise to pay. It's a promissory note, basically. It's an IOU. Lost my place. Shortly thereafter, many fixed currencies, such as the pound sterling, also became free floating. This is called the float. And the subsequent era has been characterized by floating exchange rates. The end of Bretton Woods was formally ratified by the Jamaica Accords in 1976. Origins. The political basis for the Bretton Woods system was in the confidence of two key conditions: the shared experiences of two world wars, with the sense that failure to deal with economic problems after the first war had led to the second, and the concentration of power in small number of states. And this goes on and on and on, just about some negotiations and where it is today, some of the players. And I'm not going to bore you with the complete story. That'll just be a video in of itself. So let me stop share. Make sure I get back over here to the next one. Petrocurrency, or as we have so fondly adopted the terminology, the petrodollar. Petrocurrency or petrodollar is a word used with three distinct meanings, often confused. Dollars paid to oil-producing nations, petrodollar recycling, a term invented in the 1970s meaning trading surpluses of oil-producing nations. Currencies of oil-producing nations, which tend to rise in value against other currencies when the price of oil rises and fall when it falls. That's the float. Pricing of oil in US dollars. Currencies used as a unit of account to price oil in the international market. Okay. And as you see, when I explained earlier about Venezuela, de-dollarizing and no longer selling their oil 100% in US dollars and accepting other countries' currencies, that's what you're looking at. Okay. Petrocurrency, or more commonly petrodollars, are popular shorthand for revenues from petroleum exports, mainly from the OPEC members plus Russia and Norway. Especially during periods of historically expensive oil, the associated financial flows can reach a scale of hundreds of billions of US dollar equivalents per year, including a wide range of transactions in a variety of currencies, some pegged to the US dollar and some not. Okay, and then this goes into tell you which some of these, the Dutch guilder, the Canadian dollar, currencies used for trade. Oil today, it's the wild, wild west. You have oil, you'll pretty much accept anybody's currency or take a stronger country's currency, i.e. Russia, take a ruble or Indian real or a Chinese yuan. And they may even take a dollar or gold. And they will trade for precious metals. They will trade for other minerals or exotic materials. Absolutely. They are out there wheeling and dealing and bartering and trading and meeting, and they're leaving America behind. We have bozo in the office. As the world's dominant reserve currency, the United States dollar has been a major currency for trading oil. Sometimes the term petrodollar is mistakenly used to refer to this concept. In August 2018, Venezuela joined the group of countries that allowed their oil to be purchased in currencies other than the US dollars, thus allowing purchases in euros, yuan, petro yuan, and other directly convertible currencies. Other nations that prevent this include Iran. And this is basically what I told you was going on. And there's more and more countries that are continuing to join this. So let's look at this. Okay, and we'll stop share just to make sure that it is sharing. BRICS. Let me explain to you what BRICS is. BRICS is an acronym for 5 regional economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The first 4 were initially grouped as BRIC, or the BRICS, in 2001 by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill, who coined the term to describe fast-growing economies that would collectively dominate the global economy by 2050. South Africa was added in 2010. The BRICS have a combined area of 39,746,220 kilometers squared, or 15,346,100 square miles. Don't need all that. Estimated total population of about 3.21 billion, or about 26% of the world's land surface, and 40%, roughly, a little plus that, 41.5% of the global population. Brazil, Russia, India, and China are amongst the world's 10 largest countries by population area and GDP, and the latter 3 are widely considered to be the current or emerging superpowers. All 5 states are members of the G20, with a combined nominal GDP of 28.06 trillion, about 26.6 of the gross world product, a total GDP of around US 56.65 trillion, or 32.5 of global GDP, and an estimated 4.46 trillion US dollars in combined foreign reserves as of 2018. Foreign reserves are other countries' currencies that they hold in and out of country. The BRICS were originally identified for the purpose of highlighting investment opportunities and had not been a formal intergovernmental organization. Since 2009, they have increasingly formed into a more cohesive geopolitical bloc, with their governments meeting annually at formal summits and coordinating multilateral policies. China hosted the most recent 14th BRIC Summit on the 24th of July, 2022. Bilateral relations among the BRICS are conducted mainly on the basis of non-interference, equality, and mutual benefit. The BRICS are considered the foremost geopolitical rival to the G7 bloc of leading advanced economies, announcing competing initiatives such as the New Development Bank, the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, the BRICS Payment System, the BRICS Joint Statistical Publication, and the BRICS Basket Reserve Currency. Since 2022, the group has sought to expand membership, with several developing countries expressing interest in joining. The BRICS have received both praise and criticism from numerous commentators. Okay, over here you see the 5 basic countries. However, the list of countries who are seeking membership to BRICS is a little jaw-dropping once you know who they all are, because they are all abandoning the US dollar. Why? United States sanctions, whether or not that's issued through the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, or by the Executive Office or Congress. They are tired of Uncle Sam kicking sand in their face, and they've taken action. And this actually was just to develop trade and commerce in their areas, and it has expanded into a worldwide movement to where we are going to be, and if any of you guys are old enough to remember the OPEC stranglehold that they had on America back in the 70s with the big oil crisis, well, here you go. Here's BRICS. Similar thing, but they're going to do it with our currency, not with our petrol. All right. The term BRIC was originally developed in the context of foreign investment strategies. It was introduced in the 2001 publication, Building Better Global Economic. BRICS. by then chairman of Goldman Sachs Asset Management, Jim O'Neill. The term was coined by Rupa, oh God, I'm going to try, Purushothaman, who was a research assistant in the original report. For investing purposes, the list of emerging economies sometimes included South Africa, which expanded the acronym to BRICS, or BRIC with a K, BRICK. The foreign ministers of the initial four BRIC general states, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, met in New York City in September 2006 at the margins of the general debate of the UN Assembly, beginning a series of high-level meetings. A full-scale diplomatic meeting was held in I'm going to try to pronounce this, Yekaterinburg, Russia, on the 16th of June, 2009. The BRICS grouping's first formal summit was held in Yekaterinburg, commenced on the 16th of June, 2009 with, I'm not even going to try to say all these names. I'm going to massacre them. But anyway, people from those individual countries, entry into South America, potential further expansion. Since South Africa joined BRIC grouping, now BRICS in 2010, numerous other countries have expressed interest in joining the bloc, including Argentina, which has, 97% inflation, or no, interest rate, 97% interest rate. So if you basically want to buy a dollar, you can borrow a dollar and then you got to pay $1.97 back. That's what's going on in Argentina right now. I do have one of my viewers from Argentina who has reached out to me for help, and I haven't had time to answer that email. So I'm getting to you guys, so just be patient. Including Argentina and Iran. Both signaled their intent to join BRICS during meetings with senior Chinese officials, the current BRICS chair, over the course of the summer 2022. Beijing backed Argentina's potential accession following a meeting between Argentine Foreign Minister Santiago, I'm not going to try that, and Chinese State Counselor and Foreign Minister on the margins of the G20 summit in Indonesia. China once again reiterated their support for Argentina's potential application during a subsequent meeting between those two again at the 77th UN General Assembly. So it just goes on to break off more and more of that. But there are other countries. Let's see. Ahead of the BRICS summit, South Africa's foreign minister said that there are 12 countries interested in joining the initiative. Of the 12, she mentioned 7 countries specifically, namely Saudi Arabia, which has been in our back pocket for decades, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Algeria, Argentina, Mexico, and Nigeria. Pandor also said, that's the foreign minister, also said that the membership discussions will be dealt with in an upcoming summit. Furthermore, Jim O'Neill said that the new members should have populations of at least 100 million in order to counter the U.S. dollar's dominance. See, so he's throwing it out there. Now, this has grown to even more countries. This is just when this was updated. Now, see, they write here, discussions will be dealt with at an upcoming summit. All right, so let me get over here and I want to show you guys what is coming up. Let's see if I still have it. I'm going to have to do a search. I'm going to show you. Go. Y'all ready? Told you I'm going to take you from A to Z. So right here, St. Petersburg International Economic Forum in St. Petersburg, Russia, the 14th through the 17th of June, 1 month away, less than 1 month away. And here's how they're stating: Vladimir Putin, president of the Russian Federation, we must focus primarily on economic growth based on technological development, as well as innovative economic management and socio-political models. Then we will be able to provide leadership in the areas where we have competencies. All right. And this breaks down. Last year, I think they said they had 100. Okay, here you go. In 2022, coming off the whole pandemic, they welcomed 14,000 people from 130 countries and kids, tickets to this event. Okay, y'all ready for this? 22,500 a head. Yes, you heard me correctly. $22,500 a pop. Absolutely. For 14,000 people from 130 countries. Okay. And professionally, this is, you know, I don't produce these, but I set these up, these forums in these hotel ballrooms and big arenas like the NRG Stadium complex, as well as George R. Brown Convention Center. So I know what these look like. I know how these people meet. So they are all going to get together. They will be splitting off into what are called breakout rooms, and they will be cutting deals there and in the hotel rooms for the time that they're there before or pre and post conference. So this gives you a breakdown, what it looked like last year. Okay. 1,700 business leaders, and this is international business leaders. 3,500 media representatives from 33 countries. 695 agreements were signed at the forum worth at least a total of 5.67 trillion rubles. And I don't know what that is convertible to in US dollars, but the ruble is backed by gold. Here's Floyd hosted a total of 214 business events, 1,500 moderators, speakers, and Russian international experts with 40 plus events. So there's the breakdown of the numbers that the last year's attendance. So this tells you a little bit 23, who the partners are. So they will be meeting. This won't be an official BRICS event, but I guarantee you there will be some type of breakout room where those entities will meet or some other venue that they will meet and they will have discussions. Absolutely. While they are all there in one place, while they have the personnel and staff. So once you said that's the next summit coming up, there it is right there, kids. I'm showing it to you. St. Petersburg, Russia. All right. And guess who? Well, the United States was in attendance to this event last year. They weren't going to go. And then I don't think it was an ambassador, but somebody, one person went from the United States as a representative. Because I did do my due diligence. And I was like, wow, I wonder if the United States attended the 2022 event. And I went and found it. And of course, I don't have it pulled up, but take my word for it. So there you go. That's what the de-dollarization looks like from A to Z, how we got there, where we're at now. Some other things. See if I pull it up. Oh, there's the St. Petersburg stuff. Oh, now, this is just a little something I'm going to throw on here for you guys. This is Daily Hodl. This was brought to my attention on my page by Dr. Kennedy. So I want to thank her for posting this. This is the Daily Huddle, so you see. Okay. This is from May 15th, and this is from May 6th. Okay. Let me read this one on the 6th. Okay. I'll read the headlines. U.S. government may freeze American bank withdrawals as currency panic and capital flight mounts. Macro guru Hugh Hendry, Daily Hodl staff, May 6, 2023. Future MASH, whatever that means. Hedge fund manager and macroeconomic expert Hugh Hendry just issued a major warning on the U.S. banking system and the American economy as a whole. In a new interview on Bloomberg Markets, Hendry says mass panic and capital flight away from the U.S. banking sector is entirely justified. Hendry says a further decline in the M2 money supply, which in part tracks money in liquid checking accounts, could convince the U.S. government to step in and prevent citizens from taking their capital out of the banking system. Quote, sometimes it's kind of relevant to panic. I would recommend you panic. You've seen the biggest waterfall decline in M2 right now. M2 is deposits, not loans. That's the deposits fleeing the system and going into money market funds. That could reach a crescendo where the Treasury and the Fed may have to come in and actually restrict your right as a U.S. citizen to pull money out of the U.S. banking sector. Close quote. Hendry says capital flight from U.S. banks is not solely about fears on whether the FDIC will ensure deposits above $250,000 and a blanket guarantee on deposits would not solve the problem. Quote, there is capital flight, deposit flight from the banking sector seeking yield. I fear that, I don't say this lightly, but in 1934, the Federal Reserve Act confiscated gold from the U.S. citizens. We're at a point where the Fed and Treasury officials, I'm sure, are having to consider a gate, a lock on U.S. bank deposits. Close quote. When it comes to where Americans can place their capital amid uncertainty, Hendry says his go-to is U.S. Treasuries and potentially Bitcoin. Quote, it's time to own the most reviled security in the universe, the ultra-long treasuries. I know you all think we've got an inflation problem. It was a supply shock, and a supply shock needs the manifestation of more and more bank printing of loans to propel it into the future. We're getting the opposite. The ultra longs are trading 2 to 3 standard deviations below the ETF. I've not got the bug, but Bitcoin is something I could conceive as an asset class that could trade 3 or 4 times higher in the next 5 years. There's no other asset class that I could make that determination, close quote. So I'm not pushing crypto or Bitcoin, so don't take that as my endorsement for anything that's being said in this article. I'm just relaying the information to you. If you decide to get into crypto, that's your own. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Zero from me. Entertainment purposes only. I'm just reading articles, bringing you the news as I see it. So as we bump down, let me stop so I can get back over there, make sure that you guys are actually seeing the screen. And this one is, has a little bit concern for a lot of people who are educated. This is again from the Daily Huddle. This is from the 15th of May, a couple days ago, 2023. This is written by Alex Richardson. Will U.S. government freeze bank accounts through payments network FedNow, which starts July 1st, 2023? Agency responds to criticism and concern. Pop this open for you guys so we can read it together. And there's again that future MASH thing. Fed officials are addressing concerns that FedNow, the new instant payment infrastructure developed by the Federal Reserve, will allow the government to surveil and freeze Americans' bank accounts. In a new fact-checking report from the Associated Press, officials from the Federal Reserve say that the new service, quote, does not give the agency additional surveillance and enforcement authorities, close quote. In an email to the Associated Press, Fed officials said, quote, FedNow is an instant payment services that the Federal Reserve will offer to banks and credit unions to transfer funds for their customers. The Fed and FedNow cannot access individuals' bank accounts or control how they choose to spend their money, close quote. AP also conferred with Aaron Klein, senior fellow at the Washington, D.C. think tank Brookings Institute, which is a conservative think tank, who said that concerns about bank accounts being seized through FedNow were, quote, nonsense campaign, close quote, with, quote, no basis in reality, close quote. Klein reportedly says that FedNow is revamp, should we say, is a revamp of the Fed's outdated automated clearinghouse system, the ACH, which we're familiar with, right? Quote, they are upgrading their current system that runs on 1950s tech to one that's modern. It's like changing from Blockbuster to Netflix, close quote. Well, that wasn't very difficult, if I remember correctly. Concerns of a new incoming financial system that keeps tabs on Americans' every move have increased in recent years, especially with the talks of the new central bank digital currency, CBDC. Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been issuing warnings on CBDCs and their potential threat to economic freedom of U.S. citizens. Kennedy said in a recent interview, quote, the ability to save and spend without political interference is a prerequisite for the exercise of meaningful dissent, and I will defend it accordingly. This is not a right or a left-wing issue. It's about protecting democracy from powerful established interests. The digitization of currency has given government unprecedented powers to surveil and control economic life. That is why I oppose CBDCs, which will vastly magnify the government's power to suffocate dissent by cutting off access to funds with a keystroke. That's also why I support Bitcoin, which allows people to conduct transactions free from government interference. Bitcoin has been a lifesaver for people's movements around the world, especially in Burma. And that concludes the article. So, as you see, they downplay it, clearly call it fake news, a rumor. So take it for whatever you will. That's your choice. I'm just relaying what I'm reading. I would advise everybody to always have some emergency cash on hand in low denomination bills. So it's easily convertible. So you're not out trying to break, 20s and 50s and hundreds to buy you a couple ramen soups or something and have to overpay because nobody has change. But that's just me. Let me stop share here. Again, I want to thank my sponsor, Mortgage Audits Online.com. That was Sean Adley. Go check him out. He will find fraud in your loans. And here's his website. So I just want to pull it up and show you guys. There's consultation. If you want to just jump right on here and start chatting, you can do that. Easiest way is just hit contact. Bam, it's going to pop up this little box right here. And in your message, just say, hey, Floyd. That's it. That's all you got to do is type that in there, Fearless Floyd, and whatever you want. You want a mortgage audit, you want other, you want a loan lookup. Just put your information in here, first, last, email, your phone number, Fearless Floyd. You can put, Fearless Floyd code, free info kit from Fearless Floyd. You can even put FF in there. Sean knows that's up. So just put that in there. He will email you right here, automatic email. You should get it within 24 to 48 hours. From Sean, the free info kit. Like I said, go check out his website. He's got just a ton of information on here. Here's some testimonials, industry news, foreclosure defense help. I mean, it's just all this. You can go read all this. Here, I'll just, stop foreclosure sale. Boom, gives you instructions, everything you need to do to stop the foreclosure sale. What other websites can you do that? Talks about bankruptcy. So like I told you, it's a wealth of information over at Sean's website. I want to thank him for sponsoring the show. So y'all go give Sean over there a little jingle with "You've got mail" and hit him up. I've been getting slammed on my text, so got that out of the way. So yeah, there you go. There's Sean. So go check Sean out. And next, where am I going to mosey? I'm not going to give you any news. Man, I got a ton of stuff open. Ton of stuff. All right. I'm going to go work on this too. So, all right. Here's the website, fearlessfloydshow.com. This up here. So all you gotta do is you can click on this right here, 24/7, all access to classes. You click on that, it's gonna take you to the classroom page. Here, and I'll stop share just to make sure that everybody's sharing on the sharing screen. There you go, classrooms page. So if you want to take every class, this breaks it down, tells you what's what, whole cost. This is the Cash App. Just scan that. Want to enroll in class, whatever, how much, whatever class you want to do. If you want to do the package deal, there you go. 101 right here. It tells you all about what's in the 101 class. Here's the PayPal QR code. Here's 201. There's the Venmo QR code. Like I said, 201 covers deeds, trust sales agreement, trust bill of sale, trust assignment deeds, and much more. Here's 301. Oh, how did I still get that on there? Thought I changed that. We got to go back and fix that. But yeah, that's 401. This is still the same price, but you get all access. So 301 is on mortgages, mortgage fraud, foreclosures, and foreclosure fraud. Foreclosure. Wow, almost lost my voice there. And here's 501, which is being created. This is on private banking. So hopefully we can get this out to you guys within the next 2 weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for this one. And I put this out. You've already taken all my classes, or all Ann's classes, rather, our classes, and you want to take the 501. So I'm gonna throw y'all a bone, give y'all a discount, even more than whatever I publish this price at, whatever Ann and I agree. She has not started on this curriculum. We talked about it yesterday, so it is in progress, and hopefully we can get it done. So we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it. So you know. VCR class right here. As you can see, a significant price drop in this, $30 now off, and 24 access to this class, the VCR class, voucher coupon remittance. And I'll put got a new one coming up here. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you have to address it. So anyway, that's it. That's pretty much all you got to do when you get over here and you want to sign up for class. You just pick out all the classes you want to go to, tally up your total, scan one of these with your phone, your camera. It's going to pop up the app if you have this app installed on your phone, the Cash App, PayPal app, or the Venmo app. And if you don't want to use any one of those, you'd rather Zelle the funds directly to my bank account, you can do that as well. Just contact me, DM me in Telegram, or email me at thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. That's how we are going to handle that. I'm going to work on the website tonight, later, and get the store operable. It got shut down when Stripe didn't want to do or conduct my financial transactions, so it has been dormant since. That's on me. I have not fixed it. I've been behind. I'm catching up. I am moving ahead. So we're getting there. So basically, that's what I have for de-dollarization for you guys, to educate you guys. So like I said, if you're in some other group, man, and you've been working to get your trust for months, here you go. You can do it in a week. Okay. And I can bring students on here, they'll show you. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, leave a comment below. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you need to hit me up for a consultation, DM me. Telegram's the easiest way. But I gave you my email. Email will be in the description below as well. If you want a consultation with Ann LaFleur or a consultation with my gunslinger, Jesse Wayne Henley, hit me up. We can get you hooked up one-on-one with him. Appreciate each and every one of you be here, and I will start doing some more shows, start setting those up and getting those done. I want to thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Y'all have a safe and happy weekend. I don't see you before Memorial Day, or you're watching this prior to Memorial Day. Y'all have a safe and happy Memorial Day. See you when I see you. Peace in the Middle East. Go RVing.